Hi everybody, in this video we are going to learn about the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Firstly, we'll discuss about the poetess. This is a poem which is composed by Maya Angelou, and she was a very powerful feminist writer of Afro-American ethnicity. She is the author, poet and civil rights activist who worked closely with Martin Luther Jr. and Malcolm X. She was born in 4th April 1928 and died in 28 May 2040. This poem brought her international acclaim and recognition as it was her famous work. So it was written in 1969 and nominated in National Book Award in 1970. So now come to our poem. So this is a poem which is an autobiography of Maya Angelou. Autobiography means this poem tells us about the circumstances and the situation which she has faced during her lifetime. So this poem deals with the two themes. First one is a freedom and second is a captivity. And there are two birds in the poem. First bird is a free bird which represents the white American, and the second bird represents the black American. There is a loose rhyme scheme. Loose rhyme scheme means there is no particular rhyme scheme in this poem. And next, a figure of speech, poetic devices, and the literary devices are in this poem. Alliteration, imagery, metaphor, personification, and symbols, as all these terms we have done in the previous lecture also. So now come to our first stanza. In this poem we are having 7 stanzas. So here it is the first one. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. In the first stanza, the poetess is talking about the free bird. So a free bird leaps means he jumps on the back of the wind. He is floating with the wind and floats downstream. He is moving with the wind to the same direction where the wind is blowing till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays. And he puts his wings in the orange sun rays means he is enjoying the freedom and the sunset, and dares to claim the sky, as he is doing whatever he wants, as there is no foundation to him or restriction, as the situation and the circumstances are favorable to him. So he enjoys his freedom. That's why he asserts that the whole sky is his own. In the second stanza, the poetess is talking about the second bird, which is a caged bird, and it is a clear contrast with the first one. And the second stanza also represent the conditions of the poetess life, right? But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. So in the first line, the first word is bird. So from here we can get the idea that it is a totally contrast between the two birds, right? A bird that stalks. So here she is talking about the second bird which see down his narrow cage. He only can see in the cage ups and down, can seldom see through, and it is very difficult or hard for him to see through the cage or out of it because of his bars of rage. Bars of rage means the walls of the cages, and but here it is a metaphor, right, which represents the hated anger of the black person towards the Americans. So his wings are clipped and his feet are tied. His wings are clipped and feet are tied. Wings, that means they are not allowed to fly, and they are not able to go anywhere, right, without the permission, as they are having the restrictions. So he opens his throat to sing. So they cannot do anything, they cannot enjoy their freedom, so the only option for him is left. What is that? They open his throat to sing. So they open their throat to sing. So now the question is that what they sing, right? In the third stanza, we get the answer that the cage bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown. Means the cage bird here, right, wants to sing, and he sings, but still he is frightened, and he sings with the vibratory sound. And what he is singing of things unknown. Here, the things unknowns are referred to the freedom, right? The bird is singing a song of the freedom as they want the freedom, but they don't know, as they are frightened, that what the freedom will give them. Like they are very frightened of humiliation and racism or hatred from the other person, but still they long for still, but still they want the freedom. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, but their cry for the freedom and the shouts are heard somewhere, as it is very difficult to suppress the feeling of somebody, right? Their emotions for the freedom, as they think that it's their birthright. So for the cage bird sings of freedom, so their song of the freedom, right, it is heard at somewhere. In the first stanza, the poetess also again talks about the free bird. The free bird thinks of another breeze. On the other hand, when a caged bird is only is left with the option to sing for the freedom, on the same time the free bird thinks of another breeze. Another breeze here means the other opportunities in their lives, right? And the trade winds soft through the sighing tree, and the other opportunities. And the sighing tree here is the personification, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn. So the free bird is thinking about the another opportunities in their life, right? And the food they want, fat worms, the quality and the quantity of the rewards and resources for them, like they are free and they are thinking to get them again. And he names the sky his own. That's why when they get everything, every resources, they are free to do anything, they are free to get anything, right? So that's why they assert that the sky and the all these opportunities only belongs to them. But in the next stanza, but a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, where in the previous stanza, free bird is thinking about the another opportunities in their life, right? On the same time, a caged bird, they are standing on the grave of dreams, means they are thinking that their dreams of the freedom and the opportunity, equal human rights, they are dead. So he has become nothing than shadow. They are just become a shadow in the world. So his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream, but still they shouts for the freedom like a nightmare scream. So his wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. Their dreams are dead, like they are standing on the dreams because they think that they are not treated equally, but still they want the equal right because they think that it's a human right to get everything equal without any discrimination between the humans, right? So they just, what they can do, they are just shouting, and they cry for their freedom. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. But they are helpless because they are not treated equally. So that's why they are left with the only option. So they just choose the option to sing and the cry for the freedom. Here the poetess just repeated the third stanza of the poem. The caged bird sings with the fearful trill of the things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings freedom. This stanza is repeated just to emphasize the theme, that to make the end rhyme, to make it more melodious, right? To emphasize that what the main point is in the poem, right? That the caged bird, what they want the freedom, right? But still they are not sure that what the freedom will bring to them, but still they are longing for the same thing. So it is very difficult to suppress or to neglect the cry for somebody, as every human being consider it their human right, right from the birth, that freedom is their human right, that no one can take that, so they just cry for that. Thank you.